Війна в Ізраїлі відвела увагу світу від України, і тому важливим було позитивно відгукнутися на запрошення єврейської громади на віче солідарності в Торонто з ізраїльськими заручниками. У своїй промові президент Конгресу українців Канади Александра Чyczij нагадала тисячам присутніх, що перший день терору в Ізраїлі нагадує їй щоденний терор, який українці переживають вже другий рік через насильство зі сторони Москви.
Here now, we have our friends with us. I'm so grateful for our allies who have joined us today from the Ukrainian and Iranian communities.
I'm honored to introduce Alexandra, the president of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. Our Jewish community has had a long, warm, and meaningful relationship with the UCC. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our Ukrainian friends in condemning the horrific Russian invasion in Ukraine, and it means the world to have you here with us today. Please join me in welcoming Alexandra.
We are here today on behalf of the Ukrainian Canadian community. We join you in calling for the immediate release of the hostages being held by the Hamas terrorists. On the morning of October 7th, Hamas committed unspeakable atrocities against the people of Israel. As I watched the horror unfolding on news networks around the world, I was taken back to the morning of February 24th, 2022, when my homeland of Ukraine was invaded by another terrorist regime. Sadly, man's inhumanity to man knows no limits. History repeats itself over and over. We must do everything possible to return these innocent people to their families. We can only imagine the agony of mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, children, grandchildren, grandparents, aunts and uncles who don't know whether their loved ones will ever return home. We stand with you today because as Ukrainians, we too are confronted with a fanatical, murderous enemy that seeks to destroy us as a people. As US President Biden said, the assault on Israel echoes nearly 20 months of war, tragedy, and brutality inflicted on the people of Ukraine. Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy. Hamas and Putin are the same evil. And they use the same methods, including the most heinous of crimes, the abduction of children. Putin and his accomplice, the so-called Russian Commissioner of Children's Rights, Maria Lvova-Belova, a woman, if you can imagine, stand indicted for war crimes at the International Criminal Court. They are charged with forcible abduction and deportation of thousands of Ukrainian children. Just this week, Canada's members of parliament heard the harrowing stories of Ukrainian children who, through the miraculous work of NGOs, were freed from their Russian captors and were returned to their families. The liberated children told of a systemic campaign by their Russian captors to destroy their Ukrainian identity. In ripping Ukrainian children from their families and trying to erase their identity, Russia is trying to erase Ukraine's future, just as Hamas is trying to erase Israel's future. It is no coincidence that shortly after launching the heinous attack on Israel, Hamas was welcomed in Moscow. Neither hide their malevolence from the world. Indeed, Russia and Hamas both revel in a frenzy of violence and destruction. That is why we stand with you today, united. We must come together to stop evil in its tracks. The world will not be safe until both Russia and Hamas are defeated. And today we call on our government to do all in its power to ensure the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages. As Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said, if the world unites whenever someone takes women hostage or condemns the children of another nation, terror will have no allies. Thank you.